So, what happens when a sacred peace treaty, one that's supposed to guarantee peace for a decade, is just shattered in the middle of the night? Today, we're going to dive into one of history's most pivotal moments, the Conquest of Mecca. But this isn't just a story about armies and battles. It's really about a massive choice, a fork in the road between all-out vengeance and, well, something completely different, mercy. And that choice, it absolutely shaped the course of history.
Alright, so here's how we're gonna break this down. First, we'll look at the fragile peace that was in place. Then, we'll see how that treaty gets broken. After that, we'll watch as a massive army comes together. Then comes the really interesting part, the choice of mercy over revenge. And finally, we'll walk through the conquest of Mecca itself. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Our story really kicks off with this incredibly delicate balance of power, and it's all being held together by just one single agreement.
So back in 628 CE, you have this thing called the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Now, on the surface, it's a 10-year peace deal. But here's the key part. It allowed any of the smaller tribes to officially pick a side. They could ally with the Muslims in Medina, or they could join up with the powerful Quraysh tribe in Mecca. So you can see, this was way more than just a simple ceasefire. It was basically a political reshuffling of the entire Arabian Peninsula. And you can see the effect of this almost immediately. The tribe of Huzah, they sided with the Muslims, and the tribe of Ben Bakr, they went with the Quraysh. Now here's the kicker. These two tribes already hated each other. They were old rivals, so the treaty didn't solve any old grudges, not at all. It just kind of formalized the conflict, drawing these new, very clear battle lines.
And for a while, about 18 months actually, this fragile peace actually worked. It held. But, as you can probably guess, that was all about to change, and change dramatically. And it all started with a single incident that spiraled out of control in the middle of the night.
Okay, so here's how it all went down. It starts with something small, a real spark. A guy from the Ben Bakr tribe, remember, they're allied with Quraysh. He publicly insults the Prophet. In response, a young man from the Huzah, the Muslim allies, wounds him. But then, things just explode. The Ben Bakr tribe uses this as an excuse to launch a full-on surprise raid against the Huzah while they were sleeping. And here's the crucial part. They did it with weapons and even some fighters secretly supplied by the Quraysh themselves. This wasn't just a tribal skirmish anymore. This was a flat-out, violent violation of the treaty. So a survivor, a man named Amr bin Selim, he makes a mad dash to Medina, and he delivers this plea directly to the Prophet Muhammad. Just listen to the words here. You can literally feel the desperation, the betrayal. He's not just giving a battle report. No, he's calling in the cavalry. He's invoking that sacred promise of protection and demanding this huge, overwhelming response. An army, as he says, foaming like the seas. Just incredible imagery.
And well, a plea like that, it does not go unanswered. The treaty being broken like this set off a chain reaction that was both swift and, really, unstoppable.
The Prophet's response was instant. He vowed right then and there to protect the Huzah like they were his own family. A call goes out to all believers, gather in Medina. And the result? The largest Muslim army that had ever been seen up to that point is assembled. Now, the Quraysh, they realize they've made a massive mistake. They send their leader Abu Sufyan to Medina to try and patch things up, save the treaty. But it was far too late for that. He was completely turned away. His mission was a total bust.
Okay, so just picture this. You have this gigantic army now on the march towards Mecca. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is expecting a brutal, bloody fight for the city. But as this army gets to the outskirts of Mecca, the entire story takes this incredible turn, away from the vengeance everyone expected and towards something else.
Abu Sufyan, the leader of Mecca, finally gets a meeting with the Prophet right outside the city. He's probably expecting the worst. He asks if his army is here to destroy his people. And the answer he gets, well, it defines this entire event. The Prophet says, no, today is the day of mercy. Wow. I mean, just that one sentence completely changes the game. It reframes this entire thing from a war of conquest to an act of, well, forgiveness.
So instead of surrender or die, the people of Mecca were given options. 3 clear ways to be completely safe. Option 1, go to the house of your own leader, Abu Sufyan, and you'll be safe there. Option 2, just stay in your own house, lay down your weapons, lock the door, you're safe. Or option 3, go to the sacred Kaaba, just make sure you're unarmed. The choice was up to them.
And look, this wasn't just some nice political promise. This was a hard and fast military order. The army was split into 4 groups, and every single commander got the same command. Do not start a fight. You only fight if someone attacks you first. The goal here was crystal clear, a victory with as little bloodshed as possible.
All right, so with those terms laid out for everyone, this huge army begins to move on the city. This was it, the beginning of a whole new era for Mecca. And you know what? For the most part, the plan worked absolutely perfectly. 3 of the 4 columns marched into Mecca without a single bit of resistance. People just stayed home or went to the safe zones. There was just one tiny bit of trouble. A small group of Quraysh hardliners decided to attack the column led by the legendary general Khalid ibn al-Walid. Yeah, probably not the best idea. He shut down their attack very quickly, and that was it. The resistance just fell apart.
So, with the city now secure, all eyes turned to its spiritual center, the Kaaba. Now, for hundreds of years, the Kaaba had been surrounded by all these idols, right? Each one representing a different tribal god. And in total, there were around 360 of them. And what happens next is just packed with symbolism. The prophet doesn't enter Mecca like some conquering emperor. He comes in reciting verses from the Quran. He circles the Kaaba, and one by one, every single one of those 360 idols is destroyed. And then, in a hugely significant move, Bilal, a man who was once an Abyssinian slave, is given the honor of climbing on top of the Kaaba itself, and from there, he gives the first ever call to prayer in the city of Mecca. Imagine hearing that, the sound of the adhan echoing through the city for the very first time.
And just like that, the conquest was over. It was done with almost no bloodshed, all because of this focus on amnesty and mercy. I mean, think about it. This was a moment that could have easily been a horrific massacre, but instead, it became a mostly peaceful transfer of power. And that really leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? How different would history look today if the answer to that broken treaty had been all-out vengeance instead of this radical act of mercy?